Good evening, everyone in the house. I'm very excited to be here this evening. My name is Reverend Uzoaku Williams. My colleagues just call me Reverend Uzo, and I think that will pass. I am a minister with the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, and I am currently serving as the Assistant General Secretary of the highest ecumenical body in Nigeria, the Christian Association of Nigeria. As a matter of emphasis, I am actually serving as the very first female to occupy that position since its inception in 1976. As a matter of fact, as old as I am. It is my privilege to be with you all for this CSW 69 session, and particularly this reception. Even before the reception started, I had started engaging with people, and I'm very optimistic on what this commission will bring at the end of these few weeks. I am here representing the Joint Initiative of Strategic Religious Action, that's JISRA, an international inter-religious partnership comprising 50 civil society organizations from many countries. Our advocacy objectives as a faith organization is to advance freedom of religion or belief, women's rights, and gender equality. This partnership is supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Netherlands. Faith actors, just like the last speaker, Dr. Kiki, said, have played and is still playing a significant role in advancing gender equality and promoting the Belgian Declaration over the past 30 years. Despite what seems to have been done, despite the effort we have put, I still believe that we need to do more. We need more contributions to promote best practices. In the past, we have used our platforms to raise awareness about gender-based violence, discrimination, and inequality, promoting the values of equality and justice. We have worked at the grassroots levels, engaging with local communities to promote gender equalities and challenge harmful gender norms. We have equally organized training programs to promote gender equality, challenge patriarchal norms, and empower women and girls. Many faith actors have successfully contextualized gender equality within their religious traditions, making it more relatable and acceptable to their communities. We have recognized the importance of engaging men, engaging boys in promoting gender equality, challenging toxic masculinity, and at the same time promoting positive masculinities. In addressing many backlashes, we have used religious texts to challenge patriarchal interpretations and promote gender equality, demonstrating that indeed religion can be a powerful tool for promoting social justice through many initiatives, which time will fail me to enumerate. I know that our stories may share similarities in many ways, but I want to particularly share with you my journey, my personal journey in advocating for gender justice in my faith community within the Nigeria ecumenical movement and circle. Growing up, I struggled as most young girls in my community with patriarchal norms and expectation. I'm from a village called Arochukwu, Abia State in Nigeria. It's in the southeast for those of you who may be familiar with Nigeria. My father had 17 children, and out of the 17 children, but it's important to mention that it's 2 wives, not one, so they don't panic. Out of the 17 children, we had 14 males and just 3 females. Although my father loved the girls very much, but he couldn't live outside his time, his age, so he has to do what others are doing. So there were a lot of preferential treatment to the boys, even though they were more in number than to the girls, even though we were just very few. But somehow we managed to pass through education, which was an advantage. And then as a Christian, with my Christian faith, it empowered me significantly in my pursuit for gender justice. As I delve into my faith, I discover scriptures and teachings emphasizing equality, equity, compassion, and justice. And this was in spite of my church's inability to explore the truths of gender justice. I am a Presbyterian because of our own depth in patriarchy. But God gave me grace for growth. So I was privileged to lead women at different stages of my life. I realized that many men allowed us women to enjoy our privileges only within the women groups. We dare not cross boundaries because, as they falsely believed, we are only able to enjoy such privileges when we limit our operations within the women groups. So you have the women's wing, women's group, they stay there, don't come here. Any other move was seen as trespassing. You're coming to the men's fold. It's a men's word. But I did not think so and was always looking for ways of serving my community, regardless of whether or not those opportunities have been male-dominated over long. So about 2 years ago, I decided to push my belief in the direction of the highest ecumenical body in Nigeria, the Christian Association of Nigeria. I wanted to change the male-dominated leadership and see the effect of our many years of engagement and conversation, because we see us organizing workshops, seminars, talking, and oftentimes we don't walk the talk. So I needed to see what we have been doing, how much can we practicalize it. So I decided to apply for this vacant position when it was declared. I had polite friends who did not believe that I could make it. They just warned me about how tough the race was going to be. You're entering the man's world. I had some less polite friends who advised me to wait longer because this has not been done before. Some very sneaky ones who pretended to care so much, and they're like, how are you going to cope with your family, your husband, your children? They were showing me that they were very caring. And then I had some condescending friends who reminded me that it was going to be a very tough job, very tough for a married woman to do. Because I was living in Lagos, the job demands that I have to move to Abuja. So are you going to leave your family to move? So these were before me. But only very few men and women told me that they believed in my ability to hold that office. And they encouraged me. This encouragement for me, motivated me more. Regrettably, my brothers and sisters in this house, some of those who were vehement in their discouragement were women. But I refused to allow the negative voices to deter me, so I was strong by my inner voice and the Spirit of God in me, I believe. I knew that this was a calling for me at this stage of my life, so I applied. My courage was strengthened by the men and women who believed in me. And that for me was a sign of change in the right direction. Some of them could encourage me because they had worked with me and learned firsthand that a woman is not smaller because of her sex. She is also an intelligent, living, and creative person. The day of the interview came, and it was a panel of all men. No woman was considered good enough to interview candidates for that office. So I saw myself once again standing alone as the only female in the midst of all men applicants, and at the same time all men panel. But I wasn't really standing alone. I believe God was with me, and that was sufficient for me. So I did not give up. You can guess the questions I received from the panel members. Let me tell you. They were not just questions about my intelligence. They were not questions about my competence. For them, those did not matter. But questions about why I should not be bothering with the taking care of my home and my children and my husband. But I got the job. And I believe it was strictly on merit. I scored significantly higher than the other men. I came to learn through this experience and many other similar experiences that justice in religious communities is indispensable. I have also learned that a more just and inclusive faith community requires effort and dedication from all of us. It means challenging our assumptions, listening to diverse perspectives, and advocating for policies and practices that promote equality. I have come to realize in this journey that no one faith community is sufficient in itself to deal with the complex brokenness of today's world. We need each other. That word cannot be overemphasized. We need all God's people who are moved towards justice. I have come to realize that when we work together as people of faith, we can create a faith community that values and empowers all individuals, regardless of their gender, background, or religion. You and I can make this possible. Can you tell somebody by your side, you and I can make this possible? This is our message and our commitment. As I'm a pastor, you know that's how we say it. This is our message and commitment as we look forward to meeting and sharing with all of you through this period of the commission. May I at this point recognize all our Jisra delegations. Wherever you are, can you just wave your hand? From Brazil, represented here, Canada, DRC, Egypt, Germany, India, Indonesia, Iraq, Kenya, Mali, Mozambique, Netherlands, Nigeria, my country, Pakistan, Thailand, United Kingdom, and USA. If I omitted you, please forgive me. I wanted us to rise as I round up, but unfortunately enough, we are all standing. So can we just raise our hands up? Just because I just wanted us to just rise so that together we stand in solidarity with individuals and communities marginalized by gender-based oppression. We commit to listening, learning, and advocating for policies and practices that promote equality, justice, and human rights for all, regardless of your gender, your religion, or your expression. Thank you so much for this opportunity.